Love and Thunder. We movie reviewing up in here. I'm going to do a spoiler-free review of Thor Love and Thunder. Thor Love and Thunder, man. So we know last Thor Ragnarok. Thor, in my opinion, once Taika Waititi came in on the creative end of Thor, at first, when you hear that he was directing the new Thor, you're just like, what the hell's going on? Who? You know what I mean? And for those of us that knew about Taika, it was just like, Thor and him? Make it make sense. And when we saw the finished product, we got Thor Ragnarok, which completely revamped the character, gave us a complete new visual style, the comedy style, and he made Thor. Now Thor is damn near a fan favorite. Now it's just like, yo, Thor is the guy. And so what they were able to do and create was amazing. Some people don't really rock with Ragnarok, but there's no way you can sit here and tell me that Thor and Thor Dark New World were better than Ragnarok. There's no way you can sit here with a straight face. I'll give you that. All right, Ragnarok's not in your top 5 MCU and your top 10, but you're not going to sit up here and tell me that Thor and Thor Dark New World is better than Thor Ragnarok. I'll just call you a flat-out liar. There's no way. Make that make sense. So we got Thor, Love and Thunder.
Well, and like the best parts of those 2 Thor movies, I think was Loki.
Loki was always a key element because he had, Thor at first was kind of stiff.
Man, Thor was so boring.
He was just there. And it was like Loki had more room to play. He had more room to be funny, be mischievous, be conniving, and I thought they did a good job at, balancing the, you don't know which way to go with Loki. You don't know what he's about to do. Thor was just rigid.
Exactly, yeah.
And it was
very
just like,
one note.
Yeah, the one note, and it was just like, all right, you know what I'm saying? As we progress, it's just like, yo, Thor is mad funny. And then once Ragnarok came out, it was just like, Thor's getting a new look, a new, everything changed. The stakes were raised. We threw the Hulk in. We threw all these like dope new characters in there. And it was just like, all right, we've created a dope world now. And now with Thor Love and Thunder, it's pretty much the story about how, Thor has moved on. He's out here with the Guardians of the Galaxy, hanging out with them, him and his rock buddy. And so now if you've seen the trailers, you know that Natalie Portman comes back as, what's her name in the joint? Foster? Jane Foster.
Jane Foster, yeah.
Jane Foster's back. And now she's like, yo, why is she out here with the helmet on and the hammer? What the hell is going on? Why is she out here with powers?
You watched the trailer?
No, I just already knew from reading. And I seen posters. So
I
just
was like,
heard
I
about,
haven't even seen the trailer.
Oh, you didn't see the poster? You didn't know what she
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna be?
I did see the poster, but I just figured they just drew it. Like it was just like an '80s thing. I didn't.
They would never.
I really didn't watch the trailer. I went in there.
So were you super surprised when she was?
I didn't know anything.
Okay.
And I didn't really look at the poster. I was like, oh, Thor. Kept it
You
moving.
saw her in the outfit.
But I didn't think of it. You know what
Yeah.
it reminded me of? The Adventures of the Babysitting Club. Remember the little girl was always dressed like Thor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
so I
had
was
that.
just like-
She had that helmet on.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, this is
Yeah.
cute. They're dressed alike.
No, man. This was, and so the story pretty much revolves around, Jane and Thor becoming reunited. It's been a while since they've been together, and, they go into like, the details of the breakup and why they broke up. Because we really didn't get a real grasp on why Jane and Thor didn't work out ultimately. They kind of hinted to it and whatever. And Natalie Portman has been, popping up here and there, but we didn't really get to find out what happened there. We didn't see it on screen, especially. And so now we dive into that. We get to know why they didn't work out. And all the while, there's a new villain introduced named Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale. Let me tell you something about Christian Bale right now. Say what you want about Christian Bale. He's going to act whatever he's in. He gonna goddamn give you a performance. Whether you rock with the movie itself or not, Christian Bale is one of he's cream of the crop actors in terms of just like, he's gonna transform. He's gonna lose mad weight and almost die for a role. He's gonna get fat for a role. He's gonna get in shape for a role. He's gonna do whatever it takes for the role. he is an actor's actor, and he's been acting since he was a kid.
Mhm.
And just thinking about his filmography and like the stuff that he's been a part of, and it's just like, man, when I think about The Fighter, where he played a crack addicted former boxer who was training his brother, or you think about him being Bruce Wayne, or you think about him. I didn't see The Machinist, but I saw his body transform. I did see him where he played Dick Cheney. It was just like, yo, this dude is, and then you see him in The Prestige, and you see him in all these dope joints. Gore the God Butcher is a character I was unfamiliar with in the comics. So I was just like, yo, his name is crazy. Is he out here butchering gods? Like,
The name Butcher.
Man.
Anytime I hear Butcher in a
He's
villain's
killing
name,
you hard.
yeah, like think about all the famous butchers in movies.
Right.
There's
Butcher from The Boys.
Butcher from The Boys, Gang of New York.
Oh man.
Oh, that's there's so many butchers that I'm like, nah, man.
Benny the Butcher.
Benny the Butcher. There you go, killing it on tracks.
Yes. So, with that being said, Christian Bale comes in, and one thing I do like about Marvel, well, there's many things I like about Marvel, but one thing that they have a track record of is giving the villains a little bit more weight. Sometimes they don't always nail it, but sometimes they really nail it. Like with Killmonger, Thanos, Loki, and now Gore the God Butcher, you're immediately brought into why he does what he does, what his motives are. And once you give a villain that, it makes the film more enjoyable. Now they're just not black and white, cookie cutter. Oh, I'm just doing this because I'm evil. I'm just doing this for the money. Now we have something extra, and they give us that early on, and you know why Gore the God Butcher is doing what he's doing. Christian Bale, the way he looks, and the way he communicated and the way he was doing the things he was doing, I was like, yo, this is a dope villain. I was all in on Gore the God Butcher, and I was just like, yo, this is dope. Taika, he's going to give us more of the color, more of the crazy visuals, more of the crazy characters. So we're still within that wheelhouse of just like colorful, crazy visuals, just wild. We don't know what's next. Jane coming back, I was skeptical because Jane never really floored me in the previous Thor installments. When she left, I didn't even flinch. I was just like, oh, they broke up. So what? It was, even though Natalie Portman is a tremendous actress, it was just like, all right, she's gone. She wasn't really doing anything anymore.
Her role in the first two, it wasn't didn't do her justice as an actor. I think.
No, she was just it could have been anybody. They gave Kat Dennings more of a personality as her friend, and so now with this new Thor, I feel like we're tapping into Jane now. I'm like, yo, all right, okay. Now I feel like Natalie Portman is having more fun with the role. I feel more connected to her as a human being within this role. So I'm like, all right, we already love Thor. That's been established through Endgame and Infinity War and Thor Ragnarok. We love Thor. We just like, yeah, man. Now can Jane measure up? And she does. It's like, all right, now I care about their relationship now. Valkyrie is back, played by Tessa Thompson. I love Tessa Thompson in this role. I wish they gave her a little bit more to do, but I love seeing her. I love the chemistry between her and Thor and her and Jane. I like that she looked like a black woman in this. She got braided hair in a Marvel MCU film. No perm.
Box braids.
No perm. No straightening of the hair. And they letting her just be her, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm all in.
And her face is like, man.
She got a good face.
She's got a great face. I could watch her exist forever.
Yeah. She's got a good face, and she knows how to act. Like, when I think of her, and she can emote. Like, you know what I'm saying? She can hit you with the quick one-liners of the sarcasm, or she can really, like, when you know she's pissed off, you feel it. Those eyes, she's just like, yo. And they already have a good chemistry because they even worked together in the Men in Black movie that nobody really connected with, but they were good. But so it's good to see Valkyrie back, and Um, the action and the visuals were good, and we get to see Russell Crowe in this movie. You know, he plays Zeus, and I've never seen Russell Crowe really be this funny. I was just like, yo, Russell Crowe is cutting up. Like it looked like Russell Crowe was having fun in the role. Like I was just like, yo, he having a good time. He's chewing up the scenery right now. And so it was good to see that. Thor Love and Thunder has some great visual pieces and great there's one action sequence that takes place and visually they take away the color of the scene. But within those fight sequences, they're showing there's like bits of color coming in depending on what weapon they use. And Gore's eyes were always a certain color, and I was just like, "Yo, visually, this is dope as hell." And I really like that scene a lot. My biggest complaint about this movie is really just they didn't give Valkyrie enough to do, and they didn't show Gore's journey through the butchering that he was doing. We know he's a god butcher. Show us more of that. Like if they would have shown that, because we already get his motive, we already know why he's doing it. But I would just like to have seen some of the guys that he's taken out. Just give us the guys that he's taken out. I feel like that would have made it hit harder, and that would have raised the urgency of him coming for Thor. And I feel like they kind of missed it with that opportunity because the movie is short in comparison to how long these comic book movies have gotten and how long they are now. This movie feels very lean. It's very fast paced. There's not a lot of fat on the bone. But I feel like they could have added some fat and showed us, give us another 15 minutes of Gore getting busy. And I feel like that would have been dope. But I was entertained. Like, you know, I saw the reviews going in, and he's not as good as Ragnarok, and like, you know, the MCU is not that good in this phase, and it's continuing on. Me personally, I enjoyed the movie. I liked it a lot. I was entertained. I was never bored. It was exciting. I cared about the characters. I got emotional a couple times, and so that's all I can ask for when I watch a movie. Am I excited? Am I getting emotional in the right spots? Do I care about the characters? What more do you fucking need? We're getting too picky out here. We're just like, well, no, it wasn't as good as Ragnarok. But that doesn't make it a bad movie. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't going to be better than this, that, and third. It was better than the other two Thors. Now, I myself, I would put Ragnarok above Love and Thunder, but that's for different reasons. It's because, you know, Ragnarok was such a departure from what we had gotten the previous Thor installments. So now we have that shock value coming in of these different character turns and the visual. Everything changed. So now we're going into it like, all right, we know how it's going to look, how it's going to feel. So now we don't have that shock value anymore. So now we're just going forward with a new story. So I enjoyed Thor Love and Thunder. I think it's a good MCU film. It's different. It's wild. It's crazy. And I liked it. But forget all that. Y'all want to know my smooth jazz review of Love and Thunder. Well, here it is. Oh, yeah. I'm giving Thor Love and Thunder. I'm going to give it a soft 4 saxophones out of 5. Yeah, I'm going with that 4, man. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. What you giving it, Sabrina?
Man, I'm giving it a hard 4.5. You know why?
Ooh, nice.
I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed myself. There was multiple scenes that I was like bright-eyed and like, ooh.
Yeah.
I felt like a kid. I was like, ooh, this is a good time. The soundtrack was nostalgic because
Mad Guns N' Roses.
at the time that Guns N' Roses was popping, I was an MTV
And I want to
kid.
say this about Guns N' Roses.
What?
Black people fuck with that Appetite for Destruction album.
It's a good album.
When Welcome to the Jungle,
Man.
goddamn old Sweet Child of Mine, black folks that don't even listen to Robbie like, yo, that shit?
Oh, they know it. That's
We
it.
all in.
That's all you need.
Just Axl Rose is problematic from the things he
Axl Rose.
said. But that album, yeah, but keep going.
Axl Rose, I remember I got really excited to work for Guns N' Roses years ago because I was like, I get to see this live. And when I saw him in person, I was like, who the fuck is this woman? He got so much work done. And he had box braids.
Oh wow.
This was the first time. This is before I've ever seen a picture with him with box braids. I was like, what is this? And he was in the stage he was in the audience, like where everybody was sitting doing the sounds, like the sound test or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is. I just couldn't stop looking at him. I was like, what is this? I really enjoyed it. It was a good time. Everything about it. Thor is really come to be a good, like, I can watch him and really enjoy it. Because in the beginning, I didn't care about him.
Right.
But now he's just like, he's definitely a favorite. There's a lot of scenes in there that, like, they're, even though minor, they still stuck with me. Like, I don't want to say anything. Like his older brother, the scene that his older brother's in, that it doesn't give you much. And yeah, I'm all in. I was all in with Thor. I want to watch it again.
Do you like it better than Ragnarok?
Yes.
Oh.
I do. Because it's less goofy.
Is it?
Yeah, because the Jane story, I felt
That's
that.
fair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I felt that. Like, I feel like her story is a major part of why I like it a lot, because that's real.
Yeah, yeah.
And it added that, like there's so many good times and good funny moments.
Yeah.
And then it's just emotional, and then you're like, I feel everything. I'm feeling all of this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I like the emotional roller coaster that this one took me on.
Okay.
Over Ragnarok. Yeah. And that's why I'm sticking.
Cam.
Solid. Well, it depends. See, I'm judging it on a few things. Let's see. I'm saying a solid 3.5. Like you said, a weaker 4, but it's there.
Yeah.
I do like Ragnarok better, but I think that's because I knew where Ragnarok was going MCU story-wise, and we still don't know what this is building towards or what elements they're going to take from these movies for the next possible event films. Like, we knew that, like, Thor was that Ragnarok was setting us up for Endgame and Infinity War, so we kind of knew certain things that were going to happen. I really liked Tom Hiddleston, and like he wasn't in this, and like he was one of my favorite parts of the Thor movies. But I think visually fantastic. This movie was like,
it's crazy,
beautiful to look at,
crazy visual,
and like diverse in the visuals too. Like the scenes, there is a scene when it's all black and white, and I just like the way they're able to like shape the shadows in that.
So dope.
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
I think the villain in this probably better. I think I liked Gore better than I liked Hela.
Me too.
I think they didn't give Hela enough to do, and they gave Gore a lot to do, and they gave more backstory on him. So I felt for his character more.
Yeah.
But story-wise, it moved so fast that I just kind of felt a little exhausted at the end of it. Yeah. And I was like, I needed a couple more moments where everything can like chill and we can like develop what's happening. Yeah. Because it felt like a race. So
it definitely felt like we gotta get the hell up out of here.
Right.
I give the same criticism I think to Doctor Strange, as it felt like a race too, and I think we need to kind of like slow down with some of these movies.
Doctor Strange was fast paced. It was just like, man,
like it hits the ground running and then you don't stop.
It never let up.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
They rushing these.
Yeah,
they rushing.
I feel like we're rushing towards something, but I don't know what we're rushing towards. So it's like, well, so what are we doing?
Yeah. But I was pleasantly surprised for the good on Thor Love and Thunder, because I wasn't expecting much.
That's the thing too, is my expectations were low.
Yeah, my expectations were low. I was like, I don't know about this one.
I literally had none. I didn't read no reviews. I will admit, I never really stared at the ad as like me thinking about the poster. Yeah. I never stared at it. I just glanced at it like, oh, it's coming out. Right. And kept it moving. Yeah. And now I got to go back and stare at it. Yeah. But because I had I really just didn't have any expectations. I didn't know who to expect, what to expect. I ain't know nothing, but it was a good time.
I like how in these two Thor movies inject that kind of weirdness into because if you look at the old Marvel comics, especially Thor's one, they're very weird. Like the designs, the costume designs, the aliens, and I like how they kept that. They stay faithful to that with the colors, the really bright colors, the really kind of just like weird aspects of like this universe that exists outside of Earth.
Right. There were these aliens that look like owls that made me so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They made me so uncomfortable. I'm like, this scene is great.
Why was you uncomfortable?
Because it was just owls as humans. I just didn't like it. It wasn't sitting right in my soul. I was like, why do they have hands and feet? I don't like this. It was just something about it that was just so creepy. Like if I saw that in person.
Yeah.
It was similar to, there was something in The Wiz that also freaked me out like that. But it is just, there's certain like.
Is it on The Wiz? Was it the motorcycle?
Yes. Oh my God.
Bird men.
I think I just don't like birds as people.
Anthropomorphic birds.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were in The Wiz.
Keep that away from me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't want it.
One thing I will say about what the MCU is doing right now is that I feel like whatever they're doing, I feel like we put such a high, Endgame and Infinity War set things at such a high.
Yeah, it was such a
that
high.
One false move, it's like everybody wants Marvel to top that right out the gate.
And it's like an individual Thor movie is not going to top Endgame just because you just can't compare the movies like that.
The stakes won't be as high. And even though Spider-Man,
No Way Home?
No Way Home was so good, Spider-Man literally had to pull out all the stops.
Literally.
For that movie to just be amazing. Yeah. They had to really just pull from. So in essence, Spider-Man had his own Infinity War type of scenario within his own universe.
Basically.
With that movie. And that's why that movie was so good, because they were able to pull from years back. MCU already did that. We already brought everybody in.
Exactly.
Now we got to kind of chill, let everybody get their solo space within, and then build up to something else again.
Well, and it's this aftermath that I think we're feeling, but they're showing the characters are feeling, because there's an because Endgame was so big and it affected so many characters that this is what they're dealing with afterwards. So we kind of have to wait and kind of see how the PTSD that a lot of these characters are feeling after such a big event.
Yeah, and so I feel like, so the movies that have come out since Endgame, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Strange, and Thor, with Spider-Man off to the side, kind of in but kind of out. I'm happy with the movies. Like, I like Shang-Chi, even though people didn't like Eternals. I feel like Eternals is flawed.
It's flawed, but I feel like there's so much there that should have been there that I think they're going to do in the second one. I hope that it's building towards something.
Yeah, and I still came away from Eternals like, all right, I'm with it. Like, to me, Marvel still hasn't shit the bed. The MCU still hasn't shit the bed to where I'm just like, oh, this sucks. So, and I'm good with that. Like, when you look at Morbius and compare it to anything the MCU has done, it's just like, the MCU is still doing its thing. Even though, I'm not really loving the MCU Disney shows. Although I did like WandaVision, and I love Oscar Isaac and Moon Knight.
Have you watched any of Ms. Marvel?
I saw episode 1 of Ms. Marvel.
It's not bad.
It was cute.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's too cute.
I think it's moving away from that. From the previews I've seen, I've not seen the whole show yet. But I think it starts that way. But I think it's gonna give you that more like seriousness they're adding to it. Good,
because I'm done with the cute. And I one thing I will say about MCU, and I need y'all to fix it. You better fix the Hulk, because I'm still mad about what y'all did to him in Infinity War, and you softened him up. You cut his balls off and threw him in the river. I'm still mad about this.
And I'd say She-Hulk is probably the thing I'm most worried about, based on the previews that I've seen. It's not. They better do. They got to do something.
They got to do something amazing, because what I saw early on, I'm out. But the Hulk needs to be rectified. He needs to be fixed, and I want to see World War Hulk. If we going, I want to see that done.
Yes.
So,
this is since we're on the Taika Waititi topic. We're not really, but a friend of mine was like, "Oh, I'm having movie night with my kids. Suggest a movie." Why did I say Jojo Rabbit?
Oh,
with their kids.
Yeah.
Why did I say that?
Oh, I don't know why you did that.
I was like, that's a good time, and then I completely forgot.
Wait, you recommended that movie to me?
I recommend that they watch that with their kids.
No.
Did they watch it with their kids?
I immediately hit them up later. Like, wait a second, I thought about it. Do not watch this with your kids. Watch it by yourself.
Well, because on the preface, it looks like it could be a fun kids movie.
The name of the movie is Jojo Rabbit,
and there's a little kid as the main character.
I literally hit them up.
Look out!
I called and I said, you know what? Just don't do that.
Up to the crib.
They're like, why?
In the living room.
I was like,
shut that down.
like, you never heard of it? They're like, nah. I was like, do you know who Taika Waititi is? They're like, well, I've heard of him. They don't do movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's about a little boy
Oh my God.
whose imaginary
Jesus
friend
Christ.
is Hitler. He's like, and you wanted me to watch this with
Right.
my kids? I said, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. Nah,
It's a good time.
It'd probably go over most of the kids' heads, but like you don't want it to go over the kids'
Yeah.
heads.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
like-
thing.
But there's gonna be certain moments in there where just like
The
shoes.
youngest- The shoe part is what made me call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The shoe part's what made me call because I was like, oh
Yeah.
wait, never mind.
That's
Watch this by
tough.
yourself though. I was
Yeah.
like, please watch this.
Good movie, great movie,
Great film.
great film.
Do not watch it with
But
your
yeah,
children.
for the kids, not just yet.
Yeah,
then-
unless they're learning about that in
if
school,
it's that time.
Yeah.
If it's Holocaust time in school, then
then that's actually a great movie to
Honestly,
watch.
yeah,
Absolutely.
really good for
Absolutely.
seeing what the Germans
Yeah.
went
Yeah,
through.
what they
once I learned about the Holocaust in school, I was all in. I was all in that topic. I was just like, what? Who? I was all in.
Oh, me too. It was
Uh,
it's fascinating
Man,
because
I was just.
it's
I
a
was like-
villain,
Yeah.
it
a
was
real life villain.
It was tragically amazing. World War II still to this day, just anything involving it, I'm clued in. Anyway, gotta get the hell up out of here. Let me know what you thought of Thor Love and Thunder in the comments section below. Do you like it better than Ragnarok? How does it rank up? Did you have high expectations? Were there low expectations? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you think of the MCU movie releases since Endgame. Let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we out here on the movie review tip.